Okay, welcome to your practice. We'll start with some breathing and centering and go from there. I'm going to go back to my mat area for the breathing. So you'll still hear me. I'm going to back up first. Right into our practice. So take a comfortable cross-legged seat. You have your blocks ready. You can have them out. You'll sit tall. And then just take a few deep breaths in and out through the nose. The quality of our movement, quality of our stretch is impacted by our mind. The energy we bring from our own thoughts, our own disposition. And we can alter that by breathing. We can calm ourselves through breath. The first thing you do is you take your awareness to your breath. Just notice where your breath is currently. Is it long? Is it shallow? Is it in the belly? Is it in the back? Is it in the chest? Where is the expansion? Where is the contraction of the breath? This could be different than how you've been breathing all day just by taking your awareness to it. Now, with the back of one of your hands, you'll place your back of your hand on your mid to low back, about right where the ribs end. You'll try to receive some inhales to this place. If we can breathe in here, this can down regulate us, calm our nervous system so that our stretches can go more deep and be a little more balanced and healing. It creates a mindful presence of calm if you can breathe into this area. It relaxes the nervous system. If you've got a handle on it, you can remove the hand and just keep breathing in that area. And now intentionally start to lengthen the whole breath, both the inhale and the exhale. So we're breathing a softer but longer breath into that same spot. Good. Let your head relax a little bit. Let your shoulders relax a little bit. Just so you're almost like you're rounding just a little bit here. You're rounding the body. And use this to help breathe into that low mid back. So you're expanding this kidney area. When we can calm our nervous system a little bit here, our whole muscles relax without even having to stretch them. It's fascinating. Just a shift in mental state can relax and open the muscles. Right, again, just relaxing the shoulders and the head a little bit forward, opening the mid back, And breathing softly, long, right into that area. Good. If you've got blocks in front of you, you'll take those blocks and just slide them out any amount and start to stretch under the armpit. So we're not really lengthening our back. We're kind of keeping the back slightly rounded and just extending out from underneath the armpit. Breathe here. Good. Walk it on back up. Turn your gaze over to your left. As you turn your gaze to your left, breathe into the mid-low back on that left side. So that left low kidney area receives the breath. Just gentle, you're not forcing it, you're not pushing. You're using the breath to expand that area. Let's go the other direction. So you're going to be turning your head to the right and breathing into the right kidney area. And the kidney is right near the base of the rib on the back. You got two kidneys, one on each side. I think you probably all have two kidneys. I'm just guessing. Good. Come back to center. We'll actually start our practice today standing. So you can clear your mat and come to a standing posture. If you've got those blocks, you're going to lift them onto their high setting near the front of your mat. Just for awareness purposes, right here is where this kidney area is. That's what I'll be referring to. It's that low mid back, right where your base ribs kind of turn into your low back. Okay, that's what we're going to be focusing on to help relax our nervous system. You're going to stretch your fingers apart while standing. Stretch your fingers apart. Open the sole of your hand, the palm of your hand, nice and bright. And then spread your toes apart, opening. What I like to do is you can kind of press the big toe down and stretch the other toes away from it. Keep breathing with a spread foot, a spread hand. And then gently breathe into that kidney area. You're going to push your hands forward as you push all the air out through your mouth. And then don't arch your back, just come back up to a neutral spine. Inhale. Keep those hands and feet spreading. Exhale, push the kidneys back, push the hands forward, out through the mouth. Inhaling into that back body. So we're just upright, we're not open. Exhale. Inhale. More like this, palms and feet spread. Exhale, sit back. Inhale through the nose, into the kidney. You can start to breathe out through the nose as well now. We're going to do 2 or 3 more. We're getting a nice full back body. Engaging the abdomen a little bit as you exhale. Last one. Good, this time open the arms up to the sky. Keep those palms spreading. Nice V-shaped arms. Extend through your elbows and stretch out through the fingertips. Good. Bring the hands down to your thighs. Slide the hands down the legs any amount. This should relax the back body any amount. Receive a breath here. Don't go too deep into your stretch yet. Receive a breath into the kidney. Good. Lift up through the back body. Spread your hands. Stretch your arms up to the sky. Extend through your elbow, out through the fingertip. Inhale. Keep the pressure, keep the awareness. Good. Bring it down to the thighs. Slide the hands down the thighs. Release the back into the pose and breathe. Slow, long breath into the kidney area. Trying to relax our muscles just through our state of mind. Inhale, come up, and then let the stretch unfold from there. Spread the palms, spread the feet. V-shaped arms extend from your elbow. Breathe. We're not lifting our chest up like we normally do. We're actually just focusing on breathing into the kidney area on both inhale. You can even draw the belly in on the exhale. Let's do one more like that, all the way up. Elbows straight, palms spread. Good, down any amount this time. Find your blocks, put your hands on the blocks. And step your right foot back. Try to turn the foot heel in just a little bit as you plant that right heel down and just stretch through that calf muscle. As you stretch through the calf muscle, push down with your hands so it lifts up the kidney area and receive the breath. You want to stretch in the calf, not in the back of the knee. Good. Go ahead, change your legs, right foot forward, left foot back, and just turn that heel in a little bit so you can plant the foot flat and push back through the calf muscle. Breathe into the kidney. And push down through the hands. Try to feel that area of the mid-low back relaxing and releasing into the stretch, opening into the pose. Step forward. Inhale, come all the way up to the sky. And then bring your hands down to your heart. Good. Take your left hand on your skull. Let's bring our skull over to the left. You're going to stretch out your right arm on a diagonal. Go ahead and turn your thumb down so the palm points behind you. Gently move that hand back like you're kind of brushing something aside or you're kind of swimming in the water. So it opens that side of the neck, side of the chest and shoulder there. You can feel the stretch. Stay soft in your breathing. Even let your head turn a little bit more to embellish or sink into the stretch. Good. Let's come back to our center. Place the right hand on top. Pull the head to the right. Go ahead, kick out your left hand. Thumb points down. And then gently wade the water or brush aside with the hand. But open the stretch on the neck, shoulder, and chest. Feel into it. Inhale back to center. Turn your palms to face up. Have the elbows a little bent to start. And just sort of work the forearm. You're just sort of rotating your forearm out. So it's like the thumb is turning down and the pinky's turning up. You're doing it from your forearm. And try to do that in such a way that you feel it opening across your chest. Okay, now without protruding your ribs, just pull your thumbs back. Without protruding your ribs, pull your thumbs back. Hands a little higher, Billy. It's like a V or like a W almost, sort of direct. Yes, that's good. Pull the thumbs back. That's it. Good. Keep stretching until you feel the shoulder blades squeeze onto the back a little bit. more deep breaths here. Make sure those ribs aren't popping forward. If you turn to the side, you can feel the ribs can jut forward and it sort of embellishes the stretch, but you actually skip what we're trying to open. You don't really get as much of a chest opener. More deep breaths, we're almost there. Back body still full. And relax your arms down. Let that blood recirculate through the hand. You may feel a pulse in your hand from letting that downward blood flow happen as you relax your hand. Okay, we're gonna do that once again, standing in that mountain pose, hips or shoulders distance apart, W-shaped arms. Blare the fingers a little more this time, just extending energy out through them and rotate that thumb. And now you're gonna very slowly, as you open the chest, you're gonna extend out through the arms. So you're getting a stretch, opening the chest and then extending even more, broadening across the collarbone. Slowly bringing the elbows to perfectly straight, like a T shape, good. Keep reaching out with your hands. Try not to move your knees. Minimally move the hips and twist from your waist, right where we were breathing. That waistline at the kidney base rib, twist from there as far as it'll go in one direction. And then let's come back to center. Keep reaching out with those hands. Don't forget. Keep reaching out those hands. Let's twist the other direction. Not from the knees, not from the hips, but from the waist is where we initiate. We breathe that kidney area, sending all that prana that we've been building there, circulating it through our system. Let's reach the arms high to the sky. You're going to touch your fingertips together and elongate your body as long as possible. If you want, you can even go on your tippy toes, taking my word very seriously. And then let's go ahead, bow forward all the way down to your block or to the floor. Step your right foot back once again, just stretch through. This time you can keep that heel lifted and keep it in line with your toes. It's extending through the back of the leg, not just the calf, but the back of the hamstring. Good. Now reach your crown away from your back heel. Firm up your core, keeping your back body full. Inhale, step it forward. Let's change our legs. Remember, we're keeping the hips square this time. So the back heel is lifted and we're sort of pushing through the whole back of the leg rather than turn that heel down and in. Once you root through that heel, extend through your crown. Step it back forward. Lift up through the back body. Excellent. You're going to bring your feet about hips or distance apart or together. You're going to rest your hands against your thighs. You're going to push your hand in your left hip in against your left arm. Pushing the left hip against the left arm. Just you're swinging that left hip out to the left and just letting the upper body tilt to the right. Good. So you want to get so much into this crescent that you're actually getting a stretch on the outer left leg. That's what we're focusing on today, not so much the spine. Good. Just swing the hips back and then come back up to neutral. Good. Go ahead, arms against the body. Push the hips over to the right to create your crescent. So it's more from the hip swing than it is the spine tilt that would create our crescent. So you're getting an outer leg stretch on the right side. Feet should still be kind of grounded. The body weight shifts, but you can feel the four corners still. Good. Now from here, you're going to swing the hips back and then come to upright. Let's do that sequence again. Push the hips over to the left. So it's just a natural counterweight with the upper body. You're not really trying to get a side body stretch. more of an outer hip stretch. Swing the hips around and then upright. Push the hips to the right. Swing the hips back to center and then upright. Good. Touch your thumbs out in front of you. Again, spread your fingers. You want to put about an inch between each finger. Well, the thumb and index have even more, yes. Spread the fingers. You can feel the sole of the palm, space in the bones of your hands. Keep reaching out and reach up with your hands without jutting your ribs forward. Without jutting your ribs forward, you should be able to breathe into that kidney area still. Let the head be a little bit forward, like you're resting your forehead on a wall. And now open the palms, turn the palms to face each other, and open the palms out. Extend through your elbows. Now, go ahead, lift up to the top of your heart. Lift up through the chin slightly, and pull the backs of your hands toward each other behind you. Stretching the front of the throat. The backs of your hands will not touch. I got plenty of space behind mine, but they're down on an A shape. And I'm trying to pull the backs of my hands towards each other. Never gonna happen, but I'm thinking about it. Good, relax. You're gonna roll the shoulders forward. And we'll do that sequence again. You're gonna spread your hands, touch your thumbs together. Slowly reach out. Try to feel even not just the fingers spreading, but the bones that connect to the fingers spreading as well. Straight out from your wrist. Extend through the elbows. You've got a lot of space happening in your back body by this reaching forward action. Right? As I reach forward, it broadens the back of my ribs. Breathe into the kidney area here. Start to rise the arms without letting your base ribs jut forward. You can even think about resting your forehead on an imaginary wall. Stay with the active awareness. Turn the palms to face each other and start to pull the arms apart, making a big sort of reverse snow angel effect. You're going to pull the hands down and back, nice and slow, so that they might think about joining behind you, opening your chest. You can lift the body straight up the front, feeling the muscles tone onto the back. Exhale, relax and round. Let's do one last round of that sequence. Press the thumbs or touch the thumbs together, stretch out, reaching forward so it broadens the back some. Opening the palms, the bones in the hands. Nice and slow. Let's rise up without jutting the ribs forward. Be mindful of that cue. Almost like you're resting your forehead on a wall. That help keeps the back body full. You want to keep that sensation as you turn the palms to face each other and open the arms out. You're going to start to lift up the front body, the top of your heart, the top of the chin, without losing that fullness in the back body. Squeeze the backs of the hands towards each other. Good. Relax down. Let's touch our hands onto those blocks or onto the floor. Step both legs back so you're down on a kneeling all four. You can use blocks to keep yourself a little more elevated today. Keep your heart a little higher than your hips, or you could bring your hands to the earth. Push down through the blocks and down through your knees so your belly muscles kind of support you in your tabletop. Nice and slow, start to shift your hips back towards your heels. Just be mindful of the hip and knee relationship as you sit back. Good. Come back up. Let's bring the left knee straight forward and slide the right knee straight back. Just look up gently towards the sky. You're going to stretch in the front of your right hip. Good. Tuck the toes and step back to a plank posture. And we're going to hold this plank posture by pushing down through the balls of the feet and pushing down through our hands, keeping the kidney area full. Breathe the slow breath we've been working on and breathe it into that kidney area. Slow in and slow out. Come back down to a tabletop. Open your tabletop, keep the knees and hands pressing down. Sit back any amount, hips towards the heels. Be mindful of the knee and hip relationship. Inhale, bring the right knee straight forward. So the right heel is kind of under your right hip. Walk the left knee straight back. And then gently lift the chin towards the sky. So you're getting a stretch in the front of your left hip. Go ahead, tuck the toes. Step back, plank posture, pushing down to the balls of the feet, the palms of the hand, to keep that kidney lifted like it was a dome or a tent canopy, keeping the core engaged to support it. Breathe long and slow into that low mid back. Down to kneeling. Cross the ankles and walk your hands back until you're seated in a cross-legged posture. Walk your hands out. You can keep your hands in line with the knees. So you're walking your hands wide in line with the knees. If you have the blocks, you can keep the blocks. And just gently, as you slide the hands wider apart, let your shoulders and forehead hang forward. Notice that we're not extending our spine. We kind of are inviting that kidney area, that low mid-back, to stay full. We're not intentionally rounding it. We're keeping it calm and relaxed, helping us embody the pose. Inhale and coming back up. Rock forward again onto those blocks, onto the hands and knees, tabletop pose. From here, extend your left leg straight back and push through that calf, push through that heel. So the ball of the foot's on the ground and you're pushing your leg straight back. Good. From here, take that left knee, pull it forward, try to touch your left elbow. Hold it there. Hold it there. Good. Step it straight back. Tuck the toe on the mat and push straight back through the leg. So it kind of looks like that lunge leg. Good. Exhale. Pull that left knee and try to touch your right wrist. Hold it there. Inhale back to neutral. Step your right foot back so the leg is straight as you sink back through the leg. Exhale, pull the right knee and touch your right elbow. Hold it there, but breathe. Good, step it back, push back through that lunge-looking leg. Exhale, pull the knee across to the left wrist, forearm. Step it back, tabletop. Good, you're gonna widen the hands as wide as the yoga mat. You can do a kneeling push-up, however you'd like. Let's come down to our mat. Inhale, lift up the chest. Keep the elbows going down and back. And exhale, relax down. Take your palms wider than the mat. So maybe just the thumb is still on your yoga mat. Inhale, pull the elbows down and back as you lift up for Cobra Pose. Good, come back down. Perhaps the whole hand can come off the mat. Press the elbows down and back to lift up for Cobra Pose. Hold it, breathe. If you'd like to, push through your hands and start to elongate your arms, elbows straight. Exhale, lower down, rest. You can rest your palms on the earth and rest your cheek on the backs of your hands. Good, hands underneath you. Let's press up and press back to the tabletop position again. You're welcome to refine those blocks. We'll do that sequence again. Tabletop, with or without blocks. You're gonna extend your left leg straight back, pushing through the heel so the leg, it looks like a lunge leg. Breathe here. Try to seat where the leg bone meets your left hip. Seat that leg bone deep into the hip so you feel your butt muscle kind of engage and root. Exhale, pull the left knee towards the left elbow. Hold the shape, breathe. Good, step it back, push through. Seat the hip. Exhale, pull the knee across to the wrist. Good, neutral pose. Go ahead, step the right foot back, push through the back of the leg. Breathing. Gaze can be a little bit forward, y'all. Everyone's looking quite down. There you go. You can look a little bit out or even out and straight ahead. Good, right knee to right elbow. Hold the pose, breathe. Push down with those hands to give your core some more support. Exhale, step it back. That rooting through the heel releases the hip flexor for the next round. Pull it in and across to the wrist, opposite wrist. Step it back to neutral. Good. Widen the hands. Lower down through a push-up if you'd like. Elbows in. Pull the elbows back and down. Pull the elbows down so they're right next to your ribs. Open up that cobra. Good. Let's lower down. Take the hands wider. So maybe just the thumbs are on the mat. Elbows back and down so they're against your ribs. Good. Last one, wider than the mat. Same thing. Peel up. So it's like those collarbones are rolling up and out across the front of the shoulder. If you like, you add the arms, straightening them, pushing the eye of the elbows forward and out. Very nice. Breathe, calm. Push yourself back. Downward facing dog pose. You can go to the wall for your dog if you'd like. Downward facing dog pose. Let your forehead grow heavy. Stretch through the arm, out from the armpit. Keep breathing. Expand that kidney area. Walk the hands back. Inhale, come all the way up. Good. Place the left foot on the left edge of the mat. Step the right foot back, but on the right edge of the mat. Legs are straight. So the outer edge of your foot, cover the outer edges of the mat in a staggered stance. Feel that the feet are balanced from heel to ball of the foot to toes. Once the legs can be balanced here with the legs straight, start to bend the front knee very calmly out over the left foot, perhaps over the left heel, aiming for the pinky toe. Good. Rotate your palms to face outward. Keep your low and mid back full, meaning don't pop your ribs forward, and slowly lift your arms up to a tuning fork shape. Make sure the elbows are extending. Breathe here. Keep the breath long on the exhale. It's long on the inhale too, but we want to remember to make it long on the exhale. Stay here. Stay present. Extend through the elbows. Good. Bend the back knee and step forward out of your pose. Cover the outer right edge with the right foot. Step back with the left foot and cover the outer left edge. Legs are straight to start. Make sure we feel balanced here with this width, this length. So the four corners of the foot are stable. Once the hips and feet feel stable, start to sink out through your front knee. Just listening to the joints, not demanding anything of it, owning the stretch. Yeah, we want that back heel flat on the floor. You're going to rotate your palms to face out and slowly extending through your elbows and palms. Lift the arms to tuning fork shape and hold the pose, but breathe. And you're not holding in the sense that you're tensing. You're just existing in this shape, abiding in a sense of presence while the body absorbs the benefit of the asana. That's all you have to do. You don't have to know the why. We already did the how to get into it. Now just experience the what. This is what it is. You don't need to necessarily know all about it. Just experience. Bend the back knee, step out of the shape. Very nice. Cover the left edge of the mat with your left foot. Listen carefully. You're going to step your right foot back to the same edge. So your feet are in a train track. Your feet are in a train track. One in front of the other. You can, any distance is fine. They can be close together, they can be far apart. But it's like you're standing on a tightrope a little bit. We want to relax through the four corners of the feet. This plant is terribly close to me. Relax through the four corners of the feet. And let's keep our legs straight. As we keep our legs straight, square your hips a little bit. If possible, actually should make the pose easier to the front of the room. And you can think about just widening that back heel just a little bit, not the toe, but the heel. That looks good, everyone. You should feel it. This is actually a balancing pose. A balancing pose, yet you're getting quite a nice stretch in the backs of the legs and an opening across the hip. Good. Very gently. You can even rest your hands on your belly, or I'm going to recommend you actually take your hands, both hands behind your back on that kidney area that we started on. So the backs of your hands are resting in the mid-low back, and just gently lean forward. You ever that little children's toy? It's like a bird head that goes on a paper cup, and I don't know, something happens with the water where it tips over and it kind of drops its nose or its beak into that water. That's you. You're just slowly that bird waiting patiently to be filled up until the tip of the nose kind of falls into the water. A little bit further forward. We don't want to lose our balance, so don't go any further. You should feel a stretch on your outer hip and the back of the leg. Maybe some core stability as well. Spine nice and straight. We're not rounding our back here. Yeah. Couple more breaths. See what the experience of the pose can open for you. There should be some wobble. There should be some tension in the ability to stay balanced happening here. Good. Inhale, come up. Let's bend both knees and release the shape. Very good. Just to keep ourselves aligned, we put the foot on the outer edge. Just helps us measure that we are, in fact, on the tightrope. And you'll step the big toe to the edge of the mat, that same edge that the outer foot was on. So you're on a tightrope. You're on a train track. A single train track. I guess that could be confusing, couldn't it? The other poses on train tracks too. And that back heel, you might need to turn out just a little bit so that we're not kind of tricking ourselves. This will help square the hips straight ahead, and we've got narrow foot stance. And you can just practice standing upright. That's totally cool. The shape of this pose does tend to arch the back. So for awareness, we bring our backs of our hands to that kidney area that is probably a little bit hollow just from the shape of this pose. And we keep the breath there, soft. And then you're going to be like that bird with that paper Dixie cup. And you're going to start to bob forward any amount, mindful of our own joints. We don't necessarily always want to create a ton of rigor in our class. That the rigor is in the ability for the muscles to stay relaxed under a certain amount of pressure. This is what releases tension in the body. This is what creates new, fresh circulation, healing the muscles. A little bit of tension so that when we relax, oh, you get a surge of fresh blood circulating through the areas, not taxing our body with our yoga class. And sometimes taxing the body in yoga is necessary, but today the effort comes from elsewhere. Stay with it a little bit further, noticing how the body can go deeper as it learns to settle into that current stage that it's at. Good. Inhale, rise up, bend the knees, step out of the shape. Relax the muscles. Good. Remember, change the idea here. You put your heels on the long edge of your mat and take a nice wide stance. Wide stance, heels on the long edge of your mat. Try to make your outer feet parallel with the outer edge, long, short edge of your mat. Gently start to sink the pelvis forward without causing any pinching sensation in your low back. One way to do this is to let your forehead grow a little heavy. So the forehead falls forward just a little bit as you sink the hips forward. So we're not pinching in our low back in any way. We're keeping the low back long. But we are getting a stretch to the front of the groin and the front of the hip flexor. As the hips sink forward, the shoulders may naturally sink back. Try to keep the knees as straight as possible without overexerting. Good. Pull the hips back. Pull the hips back and now start to send your chin forward and or out or up. As you pull the hips back, chin goes out, and we're going to see if we can get just our fingertips to touch a coffee table or touch a block or touch the floor. Just the fingertips. No body weight. Keep sending that chin forward. Whew. This should be a strong, intense stretch here on the back of the leg. You add a little more weight to the hands now. Keep sending the chin forward. Maybe the palms become flat, either on that ledge, block, or floor. Chin is extended out. Let's breathe here. Stay with the pose. Good. Kind of come up back to the fingertips if you can. So this creates a little bit of tone in your core. Once you've created the fingertips and the tone in your core, push down through your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Palms rotate out. Look up at the ceiling. Deep inhalation. And relax. Good. Turn the left foot out 90 degrees. Bend the knee deeply over the heel. Warrior two legs. Keep sinking through that front knee. Inhale out of the pose. Let's change legs, change sides. Outer edge covers the mat. Sink that knee all the way over the heel. Inhale, come out of the pose. Let's walk the feet in and step out of the shape. You're going to take your feet about hips distance apart. We do want to think that our outer feet are in a box, right? So the outer edges are parallel, and so it looks like the inner feet are slightly turned in. You're going to bend your knees until your knees come together like you're holding a slip of paper between your knees. If you need your feet to be a little closer, then by all means, just make your feet a little closer so that the knees could squeeze as though you were holding a slip of paper. Relax the kidney area. Breathe into it and start to drop your weight down into the thigh bones into the knee, and the knee into the shin, and the shin into the sole of the foot, or the arch of the foot. Breathe and just kind of keep this shape. Kidney should be full. You can put your hand back there to make sure. Much, much fuller than when we were doing tightrope pose. Just for a moment, just to make sure the back is full. You can then let the arms hang. Okay, keep that fullness. Gently bring the hands forward and up like you're a zombie walking. Don't let the low back arch. You want to keep that back full. Arms high as they'll go, and breathe here. Inhale, straighten the legs, arms by your sides. The knees will separate. We'll do the same pose. This time the knees will not touch. They'll stay about as wide as the feet. Go ahead, bend the knees once more. One other option, the way to do this is to make your feet about shoulders distance apart. Still outer feet parallel, and then bend the knees. We're not squeezing the knees together this time. They're just bending. You're also not pushing them apart. You're just bending them straight out in their natural shape. More of a hip rotation thing than it is actually in the knees. Same idea, the kidney area should still be full, albeit maybe a little less full. And we're dropping in, letting the joints sort of support the pose. Muscles sort of just tone and hug enough to support the joint. Should a little stretch in the front of the shin too, if you've got this pose working right. So that kidney area is full. And then when you're ready, you're just going to gently lift the arms like they're a zombie arm. So not as alive and active as we did earlier. Zombie arms just kind of float and hang there. Not arching our spine. Inhale, extend the legs straight and relax the arms down. Good, let's do a little bit of balancing pose. We are going to actually emphasize the balancing. So if you're going to use the wall, your wall will be off to the side, and you're going to touch just for awareness. We're not going to really put weight on the wall. So just the hand there is for awareness. And we'll even dance with removing the hand. So here's how we'll practice it today. With your right foot down, your left foot will come up to tree. And we're actually going to turn the fingernails away. So the palms are up. It's that W-shaped arms we did earlier today. And what you'll do is you'll rest the fingernails, maybe of one or two fingers, on the wall surface. So whatever hand's facing the wall. And it's just there so that you could just, all you have to do is just bring your hands in a little bit. And all of a sudden you weren't using the wall. And you just extend the hands out. There's the wall again. So you can focus on just the balancing, using the minimal amount of muscular tone to balance. Keep the kidneys soft and full, even though we've got this gentle chest opener happening today. Practice lengthening the breath. And if you want to make this pose more challenging, you can slide the one fingertip up the wall, or just sort of let the fingernails Rise up facing outwards. Like you're holding a rainbow between your palms. Couple more breaths. Focus on your balance, friends. Stay mindful. Effort. How to effort less. Good. Let's release the pose. Maybe turn your body so that the other hand can help you balance if you're using the wall. And let's go to our second side, taking our time to really establish that the joints can be aligned in such a way so that the muscles barely have to work. Believing in that, so that the muscles, when they do fire, they're supporting an integral posture within us. And it's not forced, it's not contrived, it's just part of our natural anatomy. So the nervous system remains calm during the pose. Circulation optimizes. Mind state neutralizes. If you'd like, you'll exalt the arms. That's a nice word for this gesture. Extending through the elbow. While still there if you need it. The engagement of the muscles of the foot are there if you need it. Sometimes I need to just grab with my foot to help me stabilize my balance. And relax down. Let's come down to a Virasana pose. So you'll come down to kneeling with the knees touching and the feet pointing or the toes pointing behind you. You'll start up with the hips. And every body is different. And so you want to listen to your body. We're going to do an active Virasana today. So we're going to find where we can get a opening in the hip. So for some of us, you'll be able to sit right to the floor with no problem. If your hips can go right to the floor with no problem, you'll actually start to walk your hands back, maybe down onto your shoulders. So your back is almost flat with the earth. For someone like me, where I'm just going to sit back as low as I can until I start to feel my knees and my hips kind of hold me. And I'm just going to sink and be present there. Not forcing my body to be upright, but I'm also not hunching over. I'm just staying in that pose, letting the joints support the shape and letting the muscles support the joints as needed. Good. Again, if your hips comfortably find the floor, you can start to walk the hands back, which will walk the body back. And you might get all the way down to your elbows. You might get to your shoulders. And if you're like me, your hips are floating in the air, that's okay. Make sure that your knees are not being compressed. There should be no sharpness in the knee at all. The muscles tone and support the knees and hips. Couple more deep breaths here. Good. You're going to rise up. We're going to do the same thing. You're going to bring the feet together now, knees together. feet together, and you're gonna tuck the toes. So the pads of the toes are on the mat. And you're gonna slowly sit back as though your sit bones were trying to sit on your heels. Again, listen, if you can sit on your heels, great. Just stay very upright and practice meditation here. Or you're working on just letting that knee and hip open. There should be a stretch along the sole of the foot. Good. Let's place our hands on the mat, cross the ankles, and sit back. Let the legs kind of stretch out in front of you, and the toes can fall open. You want to just be sort of meditative here, just like you're hanging your shoulders and head a little bit. Not really in asana yet, just sort of relaxing that kidney area. Okay, leave the right leg as it is. You go ahead and grab your left ankle with both hands, one underneath, one over the top, and sort of pull that right ankle towards your belly. So the knees open. Good, looks good. I've actually got my right leg, or it's my left, but in the mirror, my right leg is turned open. It's externally rotated. Okay, let's put that leg back out. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the other ankle. You're going to pull that heel towards your belly. Good. Notice we're not trying to lift and lift up and puff our chest. We're actually trying to sink back through the kidney area. Okay, let's go back to our starting position. Once more, grab the first ankle, pull it in, and this time pull it across any amount so the ankle is over the right thigh. Ankle is over the right thigh, as near the hip as you can go without causing any strain to any joints. Knee, hip, ankle. No strain on any of the joints. And then see if you can remove your hand and just rest your ankle somewhere on that opposite thigh. You don't have to have that toe turned up. That toe can be turned out, friends. Of the extended leg. Breathe here. Try to let both sit bones be equally heavy on the earth. All right, let's extend that leg back out. The toes are flopping open. Okay, leave that left leg as it is. Bring the right leg in. Pull the heel in, and not just in, but also across this time. So it's somewhere over the left thigh. When it's found its place, the stretch has sort of stabilized. You're going to rest the ankle. We don't want to strain the ankle, knee, or hip at any point in this pose. You'll remove the hands and just sort of hang here in this shape. Kidneys are full. And release. We're going to try one more time. You can choose. You can work on your better side. You can work on your worst side. You pick. Or you can try both in half the time. You're going to pull that heel in once last time. Rest it on that thigh. Once it's on the thigh, you're going to take the other foot and you're going to bring it in. So it's under your hip into a half lotus, and think about that lifted knee finding its way towards the earth, keeping the kidneys full. It's okay if it sticks up in the air. That's you're stretching. You're being in the pose. This is called half lotus, Ardha Padmasana. Yeah, so that front knee, the bottom knee needs to be just as wide. So Jim, that I think it's your left knee needs to go nice and wide. The left knee. There you go. We're not stacking knees. It's the ankle on the thigh. Okay, if you'd like to try the other side, you'll try the other side. Put the feet back out. Let them flop open. And then you'll take the other foot, other ankle, pull it in, pull it across, and sort of rest the ankle on the thigh. And again, the closer towards the hip it can be, the more success you'll have in the pose. And then once that is hooked in there, you'll bring the other foot under the other thigh. Relax, no strain, tweakiness in the ankle, knee, or hip. Keeping the kidney full. You're just working at any level that works for your body. Close your eyes. Just relax in the shape. Very nice. Very nice. When you're ready, you'll slowly undo your legs. If you're happy here, you can stay here another couple extra breaths and meditate. Then you'll start to lie on your back for a supine twist. Extending your legs out, lying on your back. Just take both knees or one knee into the twist. Your favorite twist to one side. And your favorite twist to the other side. Come back to center. Extend out your legs. Give your arms plenty of space. Rest your body. Stretch. And take a comfortable seat. Namaste.